All right, welcome back everyone to the stream. Just started a new stream. We now have Zenith trades here.
What's going on?
So we had that big pullback in the market just a minute ago. Qs dropped from 595 to 588. SPY dropped from 660, 250 to almost 556. It's a pretty decent move. Basically erased the entire move from this morning. So, I mean, some pretty healthy price action, right? I think, are we going to be in for another bounce or no?
It's really hard to tell right now. The gamma exposure map is just all over the place. I mean, this is a completely news-driven market right now. I mean, one single headline can change everything, as we saw this morning. That's where we're up like 1.5%. But something goes wrong with these negotiations, we're just tanking. So this is really a really difficult trading environment right now. It's entirely news-driven.
Yeah, so I mean, it's almost impossible to. It's not impossible, but almost impossible to just trade based off of regular TA right now. Just because it's such a news-driven market. Literally, anything could change any second with any news. Right now, you have. Right now, you have Iran saying Iran Parliament says that the U.S. basically used fake news to manipulate oil markets. Obviously, don't know if that's true or not, but you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. So I mean, if you guys have any questions for charts or so, just go ahead and type it in the chat. I probably won't be looking at Discord for a little bit, so go ahead and just type it in the YouTube chat, right?
I have the Discord pulled up, so I mean, whatever you guys feel comfortable
Perfect.
asking in.
Let's see here. Quick scan for calls. It's really risky playing calls. Here, there's a. I mean, yeah. The only thing I could say, the only positive thing I'd say for the Bulls right now is that we bounced off of the bottom of the opening range on SPY. On Qs, we did fall below. More importantly here for Qs is this R1 pivot, right? The R1 pivot needs a hold. If the R1 pivot can hold in this, bottom of the opening range, then we should head back up to 592. We'll see though. The big one today that I was keeping an eye on was Tesla. Tesla is up 3.2% right now. It was up 4% at one point. Really just like a massive bounce from 357 back up to 385, which is crazy. But I mean, moves like this on Tesla really, are pretty normal. Going to the daily here, we did fall below that range that I was talking about. We fell below really hard, and honestly, had the news not come out today, we probably were pushing lower 350s on our way down into the 340s. But news saved us once again. There is a gap up at 387 to 392 that everyone should keep an eye on. Is that a Weeble screen? Yes, that is a Weeble screen. And once again, like I mentioned earlier, the prices for the options are going to be decaying really quickly. You've already seen that over the last hour and a half or so. They're losing value really fast, especially after the gap up. Where can we trade with you live every day? I'll be doing it over YouTube here, obviously. I just haven't over the last week and a half due to me practically losing my voice. I got really sick and lost my voice. But we are back at it. check out Andos. Andos is up 3% today. I think they were up 5% at one point. If I'm not
Hey,
mistaken.
Clint, you should look at the daily chart. I have it pulled up right now.
For Andos?
Yeah, it's in this crazy
Range.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like you were saying, aren't they waiting for like a contract or something? Wouldn't that make more sense?
Yeah, so they actually did release their earnings ahead of schedule today. They released part of it last week, and then they released their guidance today. They guided up significantly. I think they guided almost double what Wall Street was expecting. They still have their their earnings call, their conference. I believe that's on Wednesday after market close. So we'll get some more insight into some potential deals and what else the company has in the pipeline. But yeah, it's the second that there is a U.S. government contract for Andos, like this thing is just absolutely ripping. It is one of the most shorted stocks right now in the entire market. So the longer that we stay in this little ascending triangle here, this little range, the move up is going to be violent. So yeah, I'm in calls for Andos. I think I'm in the June calls for now, just as a swing to try to capture the short-term move, and then obviously long-term, I'm still extremely bullish as well.
Why do people keep shorting this one? Why do you think?
It's primarily because of execution concerns. So Andos has been acquiring pieces of companies just constantly. I mean, it's pretty much every couple days that they're announcing that they've acquired a new company, and I think that that Wall Street and some of these short sellers are just concerned or hoping that Andos is not going to be able to actually convert these purchases into scalable revenue. But their CEO Eric Brock, he comes from institutional banking, so his entire background is in scaling companies and recognizing which companies he can actually create value from, scoop them up for the cheap, and then create value. So I trust Eric Brock, and I think he's more than capable of turning these companies that Andos is acquiring into powerhouse companies that, again, their revenue becomes Andos's revenue. So.
Plus, the company is focused on defense. What defense companies normally don't become successful?
It's literally counter drones. That's one of their primary focuses right now. And with everything, I'm sure that you guys have probably seen something in the news about drone warfare in the Middle East. And that's exactly what this company does. So right now it's a really hot sector. So that's something working in Andos's favor, as well as they're actually partnered with Palantir. I don't know if you guys know that, but yeah, they have a partnership with Palantir, and generally speaking, anything with Palantir is it's going to do well.
The future. Yeah, so if any of you are wondering why the market had that big pullback just earlier, that's due to Iran saying that Trump lied about the whole deals in talks, which honestly, I don't know, I kind of expected that. There's propaganda on both sides, right? Yeah, there's definitely propaganda happening on both sides. Let's see, Iran's Revolutionary Guards say they launched a new attack on targets in Israel, U.S. base in the region. I mean, yeah, so the war is still going on. I'd be curious to see what Trump says about this.
Something else to consider is that, I mean, Trump has deployed, I think, almost 5,000 service members. They're in routes in that region, so that it literally makes no sense that he's trying to de-escalate when he has 5,000 service members heading over there. I don't know what his game plan is here, but there's just so much going on, and everybody that's close with Trump, like his administration, his family, they're making an absolute fortune off of his flip-flopping in policy decisions. So it's just really unfortunate that there's just blatant manipulation going on, and we can't really do anything about it. I think Clint may have mentioned it, but I was doing some research. Apparently the U.S. Secretary, or Secretary of War? No. What's his name? Besant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's apparently involved in shorting the oil market. So apparently that it's
Yeah.
alleged, obviously,
Yep.
but there's
Rumors going around.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is crazy because, I mean, we're just protecting American interests, okay?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but oil has really been struggling to get above $100. At least oil futures, struggling to get above 100, and I don't know. That's kind of suspicious with everything that's going on right now. I know physical oil in Dubai right now is at about $150 a barrel. So there's like a huge disparity between oil futures and physical oil. So something's going on, but again,
So
we'll never really find out the truth.
I mean, yeah, it's totally believable. Today on the news, right? Oil was sitting at 98. I want to say that, well, we did briefly overnight hit 101.50, right? And after the news was announced this morning, oil dropped to 84.50, right? So let me measure this move right here. I mean, that's like a 17% move down in oil in a matter of hours, right? There's no way that's not manipulation. There is definitely market manipulation happening.
No, it's just organic price discovery, Clint.
Of course. Yeah, no, it's
totally natural market movements. That's it.
And weren't you mentioning too that like oil in where is it at? In China is at like
Dubai, yeah.
Is it Dubai?
Physical oil right now in the Middle East and some of the Asian countries right now is trading at $150.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, our oil market is definitely being kept down by some unseen hand, right? It's keeping our oil prices down. I mean, it's the backbone of the American economy. They can't let that spiral out of control. It would literally crash the economy.
Patrick, my bad. I just saw your question. Let me look real quick. What am I at?
As for a potential reversal here back up on Qs, I don't know. This whole move up this morning is based on Trump saying that there were talks, and Iran is saying that there were no talks. So, I don't think the whole move up is going to be erased today, but I mean, you're talking if the whole move up were erased, that's still another like 2.5% down right now, another 2% down. We've already erased I think over 1%. Yeah, 1.2% so far. I don't think we're coming all the way back down, but there's actually we just had the highest volume candle of the day right there. Weird. Didn't even move much.
Patrick, I am in the $10 calls for June 18th. I got in, what was that, last Thursday at 247. They're trading at 237 right now, so you're actually getting a little bit of a discount for my average if you get in now.
Problem is that one, it needs to get moving or it's just going to chop everybody out.
The issue I'm seeing is that SPX is below 6,600, which is a key psychological level. Until we break back above that, it's just either going to be a slow, gradual move down or just chop. 6,600 on SPX is what I'm watching.
You don't think we come all the way back down, right?
There actually is some gamma exposure all the way down at 6,460, which would be essentially Friday's lows, a little bit lower than that. But I think those are hedge nodes. I seriously doubt we just drop almost 2%. But obviously, I mean, if Trump decides to do something crazy during market hours, yeah, we're gonna tank. But that's the danger of holding a position for anything longer than a scalp right now. It's like you're just praying that Trump doesn't do something stupid while you're in your trade.
Could you possibly post that on it? Oh, yeah. That's a question for you. Any current trade I just joined? I'm not in anything right now. I was kind of waiting for this move down to finish. I did want to potentially get in calls for a possible bounce here at pre-market lows. Or not pre-market low, but that pre-market level that we had earlier, like 8 p.m. Eastern. It's like 586 here. We're actually at that level right now. We could bounce here. We'll see.
My bad. What were we saying, Clint?
Oh, somebody had a question about the Andos call. If you could post it in your chat.
Oh no, I did that. I was talking about you said low a day or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about how I think we could bounce off of that level that we had at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, okay.
Did NVIDIA have a nice move up? Oh, NVIDIA is only up 1%. I might try calls here.
Yeah, honestly, I think that might be a good bet. It's a little small pre-market low right here on Qs.
Let's see, so we have the 589 call. Your DTE at like 1.03.
Just be careful because we are currently in the gap on SPX.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna have a tight stop loss here for sure. Six. All right, let's take a shot. I feel like if it loses this level, it could drop a whole lot further, and I'd probably switch to shorts.
Yeah, I would keep your stop pretty tight. There is some gamma support at 587 on Qs, so that's your hope right there. Is that we stick right here, and bounce. Volume on these sell candles is a little bit concerning though.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of volume coming in.
It's not really there on SPY though, just Qs.
.93. So I took the 589. I posted it, but I took the 589 0 DTE calls on QQQ at 0.93. The stop loss is going to be really tight here, especially if we fall through this pre-market level here. It's going to get really nasty. So we are going to keep it close. Okay, let's look at. You think you will crash? Yeah, there's the possibility that we do drop into close, obviously, especially if this is officially fake news, which Iran is saying it's fake news. So we'll see. You know, I think the move up was a bit ridiculous to begin with, on how high it was, just by Trump saying that they had talks, right?
Allegedly, which Iran denied.
And I figured too. I think everybody, especially the bulls, were just hoping that there was going to be some possibility for, something bullish, especially after what the markets have experienced over the past couple weeks. Just dying for something positive, and it turns out, we had to bring oil prices down somehow, right? And it took Trump probably lying about it. Unless, here's another argument you can make. there's like every time there's a regime established, it's getting wiped out. So maybe Trump was talking to a different regime or something.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. He could have been talking to a different regime. That it sounds like there's no order in Iran right now, anyways. So, I mean, maybe he did have talks, but he had talks with the wrong, group. I don't know.
Knowing Trump, honestly, maybe he talked to a completely different country and thought it was Iran.
That could
Who
also be
knows?
possible. That could be possible. Just calls Putin by accident.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Even though they're keeping it down, I'm noticing that I'm having to fill my tank up more often than usual. I'm wondering what they're adding to keep the prices down. That's a whole nother that's a whole nother conversation. By the way, Coach Troy, I am not disagreeing with you there at all. Like, not in the slightest. I'm not disagreeing with you, but that is a whole nother topic, right? There's I guess you wouldn't even really call that a conspiracy theory because I'm pretty sure it's happening.
Yeah,
and there's proof, and there's proof of it happening too. So yeah, what widgets do you have in the top left quadrant of your screen? Top left. I think it's your side, Raphael.
Oh yeah, I got a little bit of everything going on here. I got the gamma heat maps right here in the center, and then yeah, obviously the chart right here. But yeah, that's if you're obviously talking about my portion of the screen. You might be talking about Clint's. I don't know. Nice little bounce there. You're probably at like what, break even?
Yeah. We're sitting right at 104. We're up like 10% right now. We'll see. We'll see if we keep going. These cons are moving really fast, though. But it could also be doing is rechecking this zone before fully tanking, so we'll see. We're sitting like a right at break even right now. The other news swing that I entered this morning was back Bank of America. The reason being is because I stated that there was this trendline resistance break here. And I think we could continue up for the next few days. I took the April 15th or April 17th calls because I thought, I'd give it a little more time to play out. But I'm comfortable about this position. I have the 50 calls. They're sitting pretty much, they're like sitting right at break even right now. They were up 20% earlier, but I didn't trim. This is a swing. I'm going to let this play out a little bit. Ideally, I'd like to see, these in the money within the next couple weeks instead of having to wait all the way until April 17th. But I'm patient here. I'm fine with waiting.
Something else that you guys should kind of keep on your radar is the U.S. 10-year yield. So last April, when the whole tariff war was going on, bond yields on the 10-year peaked at about 4.6, or did we get above 5? No, it was like
4.8, I think.
When was that? April last year.
Yeah. I think it was 4.8.
Like peaked at like 4.6.
Oh, okay.
Right around 4.6. So the thought process going around right now is that Trump needs to keep bond yields low. If he doesn't, then that's going to put serious pressure on equities because, why would you want to risk your money in the stock market when you can go purchase government debt and lock in 4.6%? That's what these big institutions are thinking about. That's what foreign governments are thinking about. So Trump needs to keep the bond yield below 4.6%. And right now, as you can see on the daily, we have been on a nice little uptrend here. So we'll see what happens.
We're cooked regardless. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that the stock market is going to crash under Trump eventually. I mean, we've had him for a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do think. So we, of course, had Biden, the 2022, right? That was Biden's second term, or second year of presidency when we had the 2022 bear market, right? That was expected because the market, especially after COVID and its crazy move up, needed a pullback, right? So the crash of 2022 wasn't even a crash, but the pullback of 2022 was definitely reasonable and needed to happen. And I feel like we're going to need that again under Trump. I feel like, at least I don't think it's going to be a horrible crash under Trump, but we're definitely going to get a bear market under Trump. Either in year 2 or year 3. And then in year 4, we'll probably get a nice move up. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that's feasible. I mentioned in my Substack post this week that the stock market is pretty much how Trump dictates how well that his presidency's going. If the stock market's up, then his presidency's going great in his eyes. So if his golden goose is not doing well like it is right now, I mean, it's shaved off like $2 trillion in market cap since this little conflict started, then that makes him look bad. He knows it makes him look bad, and he's going to do whatever it takes to prop the stock market up at least until midterms are over, which is in November. So that was why I said that a peace deal was very, very likely this week, or at the absolute latest this coming weekend, because A, Trump wants to keep the stock market up, and B, because of the U.S. 10-year yield, it's going up pretty quick. So yeah, my thought process is that Trump does whatever it takes to prop the markets back up. Maybe we make a new all-time high before midterms in November, and then after that, there's no telling.
Here's another thing a lot of you need to understand too, and especially for you Trump haters, right? And everybody knows that I am politically neutral, right? I do not like either side. I'm not a big fan of either side. I will, point out mistakes by both sides, equally. I think they're all in it for themselves for the most part. I mean, sometimes both sides can have good policies, right? But for the most part with Trump, you got to understand, it may look like Trump is stupid in a lot of ways, and one could argue that he does make some really questionable decisions, But when it comes to like stock market and finances, the guy knows what he's talking about, right? I mean, he's 80 what? 80 something years old? Is he 80 years old?
I think he's 80.
You got to think. He's done this his entire life. His entire life. He knows how to manipulate things, and yeah, he's going to manipulate the market while he is president. For sure.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to use whatever means possible to inflate the numbers under him and make them look better than they actually are. He's a president. He's also a man that's trying to look successful. He's not going to admit if he does something wrong, right? So you guys need to understand that he's going to keep this market up as long as possible. Even if it means lying, with today, with Iran. I'm not going to call Trump a liar and say that he lied about, the peace talks with Iran, but the way it's looking right now is that would look like possibly a false statement to bring oil prices down. So, but he's going to find ways to keep the market up, right? And yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, Rafael, there's a lot of folks that he knows that are making pretty good money on this market right now with his manipulation in the moves, right? So we kind of just have to trade along with that in a way. Don't fight the system. Work with it.
I just want to point out real quick that the ceiling on SPY has rolled down from the 660 area down to 656. So 656 is now going to be serious resistance. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on if you're bullish throughout the rest of the day, is that we're starting to see some pretty significant upside resistance.
I posted the trim in Discord, but that was 45% right there on the Q's calls. We hit 135. So that makes me, what, officially 4 for 4 on the day? Not bad, not bad. We'll see if we continue up here. I think upside is very limited here. We may get back up to 590 on Qs. We'll see though.
Yeah, so until 6600 breaks on SPX and 656 on SPY is cleared, I'm not looking to enter calls personally. 593 is still the upside target for Qs, at least according to gamma exposure. So tech is showing relative strength, at least throughout the rest of the day. But again, this could literally flip in half a second if Trump says something crazy. So
they're lying about me lying. Honestly, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's a tough market to trade right now. It's really hard to trade these news moves. Because what, like, you had calls, right? And then the IV crushed.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys follow me on X, but I was in, I think, 8 SPY calls at the 660 strike for the 27th, or no, sorry, April 10th. April 10th is the expiration. We got a 2% move overnight, and I was down to $1,500 at close on Friday. So we got a 2% move, and I was only up $400 just because of the IV crush, which I outlined in my Substack post that an IV crush was likely. I found a study that kind of can predict when mean reversion will happen on the VIX, because the VIX inherently is mean reverting. But I found a study that kind of gave me confidence that there would be a VIX crush event, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened with that Trump tweet. Now, the VIX did recover some, but that still does not negate the fact that IV crush is very real, and it crushed my calls. So I ended up selling for $400 in profit, which, I mean, on a $10,000 position, that's like pennies. But
that's crazy, yeah.
As you can see, I mean, we're right at the open at this point, even lower. So it's just so risky holding anything right now.
And I really feel bad for a lot of new traders who have just started trading in 2026.
Oh yeah, they're
day trading. It's probably, yeah, I feel bad. It's a very difficult market to trade. Yeah, for sure. Who is speaking other than Clint? That is Zenith Trades, Raphael. You can find his channel in the Discord. He runs the market updates channel as well in the Discord. Yeah. Super cool dude.
I would say so. I try to be.
I think somebody's wondering what service you use for those gamma exposures, Raphael.
So this is called Skylit AI. It is quite pricey. But yeah, if you have questions about it, just feel free to send me a DM. I can try to help you out, point you in the right direction with getting set up with that.
I think the biggest key right now in with this current market is protecting your capital, right? If you traded early 2026, like earlier this year in January, February, there was some nice movement, and I think a lot of people made a lot of money, right? We're going through a period now where it's really rangy, especially over the last month. The indexes have been ranging tremendously, right? So, it's okay. This happens in the market sometimes, right? These ranges, they prepare us for next moves up or next moves down, right? So people need to understand that this is actually healthy for the market. It's needed. Yeah, I mean, you have ups and downs, and there's periods where you're going down and you buy in, right? Everything's at a discount. I don't think the crash is here yet. I know a lot of people are saying that there's the crash is here. I don't know.
People say that constantly.
They
Oh,
always
this
say
guy
that.
is falling. This guy is falling.
And it sells, right? Especially on X, it sells.
Yeah.
People love to see chaos, right? In a bad way. They love to see people's portfolios absolutely crash to the ground, right? It's enjoyable, I guess, for people to see failure.
Yeah, some sadistic individuals.
Yes, very much so. I thought we were going to move up there.
Sheesh, what a liquidity sweep right there, man.
Yeah, I think the Q's calls just hit 0.50. He's going to trim there again. We'll see. I probably want a retest of the R1 here. If we don't get it, and that's fine. I mean, we already took profit on these. 60% isn't that bad. Some would say that's massive.
Humongous.
Your stop loss should be break even now, by the way, for any Q's calls. Yeah, since October it's been difficult. Yeah, I mean there were periods. We had that October-November period that was really tough. Actually, let me pull up the. Let me go back. How do I get out of this? Yeah, so I mean, there's periods to make money, and then there's periods where you wait to take money. This is what I call it, right? This whole period here, October, November, was really tough for me. Because it looked like the market was going for another leg up, and there were so many gaps, right? We had that gap here, we had that gap here, we had that gap down right here, another gap right here, there was a gap here. There were so many gaps and just so much confusion. October and November was really tough. And then, of course, we had that I forget what that really bad day was caused by. I think it was CPI, where we just had that massive minus almost 4% day, solid drop throughout the whole day on Qs, right? That was difficult. That was a really difficult period to trade. The breakdown in February was actually pretty easy because I had charted out the rising wedge, right? That was easy to trade that. But then over the last month or so, during March and the majority of February, it's been just nothing but chop. But I mean, you go through periods where there's chop and there's, money to be made. And it's a game of patience, really, right? And especially since the war broke out, that's, of course, going to make things way more difficult as well. So patience is key in this game, though. This is a game of patience. wanted to check the Russell real quick. The Russell was performing better than the other indexes. It's now caught up, and I think it's even down more now than the other indexes, right? We hit minus 11.5% off of the highs, and on SPY, I think we're down, what, is it 8%? The more? Yeah, 8% or so, 7.5%. So another thing to really pay attention to here is the 200 EMA, right? We are sitting right at that right now. If we fall and hold below that, that's going to be really bad for the markets. So we shall pray that that does not happen. Or if you want the markets to crash, you can pray that that does happen. Does Trump talk today, by chance? Do you know?
I have no clue, actually.
I kind of want to see us run up to 590. Get back in the range. Oh, so he is talking today, yeah. Talking on crime in Memphis. You know he's going to talk about everything else but crime, right? Yeah, I mean, he did talk earlier today, but I was thinking later. Yeah, he's going to be talking about everything else but crime.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to point out that, sure enough, 656 on SPY is kind of a ceiling. We're just chopping around at that level. That 593 node, though, on the Qs at 593 is still there, so like I said earlier, the maps are kind of messy right now, as nobody really knows what's going on right now, especially with Trump. Do you guys have any tickers that you want me to look at for game exposure? There's 300 on this software, so pretty much name any ticker and I can pull up the Gex heat map for you.
I can't believe it. I was in CVS puts.
Yeah.
Went up to 79, and then over the last week or so, it just like dropped all the way, but I had closed for a loss.
Oof. Hate to see it. Tesla. Well, so for Tesla today, it's looking like we're just going to be pretty much pinned. There's not much exposure beyond 375 and 380, so don't expect too much from Tesla today. Longer term by Friday, again, not seeing much upside. Looks capped around 390. Downside right now is 370, so dealers are positioned. So I would say a move down to 370, you could probably try to take calls for trying to trade a bounce and take puts off at 390. Obviously, I don't have the chart pulled up, so you got to use gamma exposure in conjunction with your technical analysis. You can't just trade off of gamma exposure and you can trade off a technical analysis alone, but I mean, why would you when you have gamma exposure to give you more confidence? So that's what I'm seeing for Tesla. Let's see what else. UCO. I think there's UCO. Oh, there is not UCO on here. That's unfortunate. Circle. Ooh, Circle's actually kind of interesting. Let me pull that up on the 30-minute. Yeah, so from a technical standpoint, there's a little support line here, or support level rather, right around 120. So I would say there's also there's a little gamma node there at 120 for Friday as well as next Friday. So if we get back down to 120, you could definitely try to take some calls off of that level. I'd put a stop probably under like 118 or so, or 20%. To the upside, 125 is kind of going to be a tough level to break through Friday at least. And if we look at the intraday chart, we were above it briefly and then we came back down. So yeah, I think the big trade idea for Circle would be calls off of 120. NBIS. Gex is showing a nice little floor and end of week target essentially at 115 right now. So I wouldn't expect too much movement through this week. Obviously, unless some sort of news comes out, they get a new contract, or again the overall market tanks or spikes, then NBIS is going to fall. I think it's a pretty high beta stock. Yeah, its beta is double that. It's going to move 2 times as much as the overall market does. So it's extremely volatile. But right now the largest gamma concentration is at 115. So again, don't expect too much movement from NBIS. Oxy. That's obviously just going to be an oil play. It's actually a pretty, wow. I honestly might take some calls here on Oxy. This would be an extremely high risk trade because it's tied 1-to-1 with oil. So I mean, oil tanks, Oxy's tanking, oil spikes, Oxy's spiking. Let me actually pull up the options chain here. Yeah, so for Oxy, I would target 63. Okay, I actually took some Oxy calls. I took the Oxy 61C for this Friday at 85. I'll also add that in my channel. this is a really, really high risk trade. With all the geopolitical nonsense that's going on right now, so make sure that you guys size small because this can just absolutely get nuked if peace is achieved. Stop loss on these, I would just slap at 20%. Chris, my channel is Zenith Alerts under the VIP analysts. Let's take a look back at the market overall. It's done absolutely nothing, just chopped.
For interface for a brokerage, like what I would recommend, Robinhood or Phil's, Webull, or Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers, I wouldn't say it's too advanced for small accounts. It's probably more advanced for newer traders in a way, especially if you're trading options. Interactive Brokers is kind of a lot. If you're trading options as a newer trader, the two I would recommend is Webull and Robinhood. I use Robinhood more often than Webull, but I definitely trade regularly on Webull. I like Webull because it tracks the data of the options a bit better than Robinhood, in my opinion. It actually provides... So on Robinhood, the way that they display the option prices is through like a line graph, right? You can switch it over to a candle graph, but it's not as good as the graphs and data provided on Webull, right? Once you get more advanced in options trading, Interactive Brokers or like Tasty Trades is pretty good, in my opinion. Really, it's just up to you and how you know, what platform you feel most comfortable with. What do I think? Sorry, we can say.
Just real quick, I was just going to say, if you guys do go with Interactive Brokers, just be aware that you will be paying commission on your options trades. You'll get better fills, obviously, but you're going to pay for it via commission. So just keep that in mind. That's why I think Clint and I both are kind of in agreement that your commission-free brokers, Webull, Robinhood, what other brokers are there that are free?
Is Ameritrade free?
Not options. I think those two might be the biggest commission-free.
I think Public platforms. Too. Public is a smaller
Public,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're smaller, but I think that's another small brokerage. I think the data is like severely delayed, or Public's still like a newer company for being a broker, but they're actually, they're growing pretty quickly. MU just erased its entire move. It's now down 4% on the day. It's actually been on some really nice momentum over the past few months, but obviously suffering really badly over the past week or so. down 13%. I think it made pull a 50 EMA check and then run back up to the highs. So it did have those really nice earnings. The earnings did mark the top, but I don't think that's going to be the very top here on MU for this year. I think it'll easily push 500 with the next couple months. It's just my opinion.
MU honestly looks pretty decent from my point of view.
Yeah.
On the 30-minute chart, there's a really nice support level right at 400, and that also lines up with the gamma node right at 400. So if you wanted, you could honestly try to take some calls right here and put your stop a few bucks under 400. You could also try to limit buy in the hopes of getting a better fill if MU does approach 400, but I think 400 for the time being is kind of the floor. I know options for MU are ridiculous though, so that's something to keep in mind.
It's great to sell options on it.
Yeah, if you are lucky enough to own Micron before it had its gigantic run up with the memory shortage, then yeah, you're sitting pretty happy right now.
I'm crazy, but it might go long again.
Yeah, I think you're crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
The ceiling just got rolled down on Qs for game exposure. It's at 587 now.
What's it?
587. So right where we're at essentially. So yeah, right now I think that the market is just exhibiting pinning behavior, and until we see these nodes start to reshuffle around, we're not, I don't think, going to see too much movement. It makes sense. I mean, we gapped up like 1.5%, and yeah, market makers are going to be punishing these late bulls that try to capitalize on the move up and hopes that we just keep running. So if you do take options, I would just say trade at the money or in the money, just because it's just hard to tell if we're actually going to get the move.
Would be worth taking a shot at oil stocks again, like KMI or EPD. The only reason why I say that is because if that move down on oil is manipulated, it should come back up. In theory.
You're talking about oil?
Yeah.
Oops.
I mean, you're already looking at oils bouncing, EPD, Devon, KMI, BP. They're all back up.
Yeah, I'm in Oxy calls.
Yep. It makes sense here.
Looks like Oxy wants to break high of day here. Yeah. I mean, if we can get above 656 buy and 587 Qs and hold, then we'll probably get a nice move. But I think, yeah, we keep getting lower highs, but we just recently put in a higher low, so it could be a little trend reversal here.
I think I'm gonna take a shot at EPD.
EPD.
Yeah.
That's petroleum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually looks really good. If you can get above this resistance here.
I don't know. I just think oil has.
It's just gonna depend on Trump.
Q's going up. Probably should have gone long again. But Raphael's right. The chop is going to be kind of awful for a little bit.
I'll show my X account here on screen for you guys that are interested. Metcap, I can explain gamma exposure, but that would have to be at a separate time and place. That is a topic that is I can just go on and on and on about. But if you can understand gamma exposure, you will have an edge over the vast majority of retail traders. I mean, this is what gamma exposure is what institutions use to place their positions. Obviously, it's not infallible. No strategy, no software, nothing is ever going to give you 100% wins, 100% win rate, but it can significantly boost your win rate. For you guys that are in the Oxy calls with me, we're already up 12%, so looking good. Let's see if Oxy can break high day here.
What are you in? Oxy?
Oxy.
That dump in pre-market.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully you guys aren't in any index plays right now.
Yeah.
Or ETF plays, because, yeah, you're just getting wrecked by theta and IV drop. Obviously, lottos are fine, especially to the downside. I think it's more likely than not that we're going to get a crazy move down than up, but... Trump's probably telling Barron right now to load up on puts. I would not be surprised.
Go short. All in. There will be a huge job. I'm gonna take one more play. I'm just trying to decide on what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna look at energy for sure. Probably honestly come back if no news comes out and everyone sticks with Iran saying that it was a lie. There's actually a good chance we could just come back down tomorrow, have a red day. Possibly come down a bit further today and then finish sweeping the whole move up today, finish sweeping it down tomorrow. Upside doesn't look good for sure. Like I think if you're going to take a position, it's probably super going short.
Yeah, so I'm not on that note that Clint just made. I can't be bullish until we get back above 67.15 on SPX. Just from a technical standpoint. But that doesn't mean that bounces can't happen, obviously, but I think we're still firmly in a sell the rip type market. I would not be buying any dips, that's for sure. Not yet. XOM. Again, that's just gonna depend all on what happens in the Middle East. I mean, as you go out toward April, maybe you see 180. Yeah, again, it's just going to depend on the Middle East. Dealers are short gamma up here at 180 though, so if we approach 180, they're going to start selling into it. So 180 for now toward April is the ceiling. So if you have 100 shares of ExxonMobil, you could definitely sell a covered call at 180 for 417, and there's a very good chance that you'll keep your premium and your shares. You'll make max profit on that trade.
So the one I'm really watching right now is EPD. Devon's also having a nice move up right now. It's sitting right at high of day. Almost fully recovered its entire move. Actually, it did. We're plus 0.04. KMI, also green. KMI is up 1% right now. Also had the drop. EPD is up right now, almost 1%. I feel like EPD can make a run up to 38.25, either today or tomorrow, which would be nice. Considering the calls I'm looking at right now at the 38.5. I just think energy is going to have a move up, especially if it's proven that Trump didn't have talks with them. Then you're definitely going to see a move up. No F cell. no F cell. We're not.
Everybody
taking
go
F-cell.
all in on F cell.
No, we are so done with F cell. That one is going on the ban list. I'm definitely putting F cell on the ban list. Full port. No, please don't do that. For the indexes right now, it's just chopping around. It's not even worth trading. So if you're a bull, you want this to be a double bottom. If you're bearish, you want a close below. You want a decent move back below that pre-market low level. That's what you're looking at. I'm going to go with EPD, 38.5 calls. To go in the money, 38.5, we only need about another 1.5% up. I feel like that's easily achievable considering today's Monday, and the price of the cons is sitting at like 0.15. We have 6 days to pull a 1.5% move on oil, and if this news that Trump did indeed didn't talk with Iran, then oil's definitely going to go back up, and it will drag EPD back up with it. So I feel like this is an easy one for me, at least. And that's the 38.5 call for 03/Q7, March 27th. They're sitting at 0.15. I went with this one instead of Devon. I feel like the con value is a little better here. I mean, the first target for EPD here is obviously, I would say I wanted 38.25 first. We'll see if we can get that. A break over 38 is obviously crucial. I'd like to see that break over 38 at some point today, possibly very soon. And like I said, only like 1.5% needed here to the upside for these to go in the money. See, the cues are here. Yeah, we'll see if bulls can keep pushing it up. Like I said, if you're a bull, you want that to be a double bottom. If you're bearish, you want a close back below that pre-market level here. So we'll see how this one plays out. But I'm in EPD 38.5 calls expiring this week. I want to see these go in the money, obviously. Cons are at 0.17 right now. I'd like to take my trims at like realistically 0.20, 0.21 would be ideal. I think we should hit that easily if we climb up to 38.25. Obviously the breakout over 38 should be strong, and I think we'll get it because we're closing above the recent high right now, but there's definitely room up to 38.25. And literally the only reason I'm taking that is because I feel like oil's going to make a recovery. So the index is just spiked. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, oil didn't really move there, so probably a fake out.
Looks like it. APD is above 38 now. We'll see if this continues. Qs are really volatile right now. Back up to 588. I said if you're a bull, you want to see us get back up to 590. Oh, we're almost there. That was quick.
You just broke out to a high day, so if you're in those spots, you're up about 20% now. I have a limit sell out for $1. I got filled at $1, so. Not bad. Took 18%.
You know, the craziest part is I almost took Tesla puts this morning. They're up 40% right now. EPD calls are up to 0.19 now. Slim Jim 05 in the Discord. Yes, that is a cup and handle. If you're in the stream, yes, that is correct. That's a cup and handle. That's not the that's not the pattern I'm trying to follow here, or trading off of that. But yeah, that is a cup and handle. Yeah, Qs are almost back up to 590 now. We're back in the range, so it looks like the bulls pulled the double bottom. Technically, since the R1 broke here to the upside, you would want to see a move up to the top of the range, which is 592.30 ish, 592.20. That's what you want to look for next here. But that is a nice $3 move up from the lows right there. I was literally just doing that right now, yeah. Trump says to Republicans, don't make a deal on anything. Vance spoke by phone on Monday morning with Netanyahu and discussed efforts to open negotiations with Iran. I thought those negotiations were already made. Right? Weren't they made last night or this morning? I am jealous.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm jealous I'm not in the circle of, you know, I don't know. Okay. I am going to hop off the stream. Went 4 for 4 on Qs. All calls, by the way.
Yeah, I made money this morning on calls. I don't know if you guys took those, but yeah, between Clint and I think we had like 5 different trades, and they were all calls.
Yeah,
So
we were on the bullish side, which is fine because, I mean, we stuck with the market was going up, right?
yeah,
So,
I mean, we won every trade, so
yeah.
doing something right. But yeah, if you guys are in those Oxy calls, like I said, I took profit on those, but yeah, feel free to hold or take profit, do whatever you feel comfortable doing. But yeah, it was a 20% trade, so I'm happy with that, especially just given everything going on. Yeah, it just makes sense to not get greedy right now.
Yeah. Price target for EPD. I said it was 38.25 is what I want first. Let me go back to the chart. Yeah, I want 38.25. So it's important, obviously, that we break 38 here, right? At the break 38, we're sitting at 38.02, but we have to break 38, and that should take us to R3 pivot of 38.25. It really just depends on the price of oil as well. This one typically moves on the price of oil. So as long as oil keeps climbing back up to what it was before the Trump dump, then yeah, EPD should get back up to 38.25. The only other swing play that I took today was back, right? Bank of America. I took the April 17th 50 call. They're already green right now. They're up at 0.85. I got in at 0.78. Already green. This is for not a full month out, close to a full month out. I want to take 30% profits on this one first. I mentioned, I'll pull up the chart again to show you all, but I want the breakout, obviously, on the daily. If you see here, the MACD is crossing up right here, and we're having a trendline resistance break. I wanted to head back up to the 200 EMA. I think it's easily achievable within the next couple weeks. I may take one other swing trade today. We'll see. I kind of just want to let the market process, you know, this big move that it's had up. Yeah. That being said, thank you everyone for showing up. I will catch you all later.
Peace out.